All right. Welcome, welcome, welcome. This is DB Talking Now, DB Talking Birds, DB Talking Philadelphia Eagles. I hope everybody is having a safe and healthy Friday. I hope you're having a beautiful Friday evening. So I wanted to go ahead and jump off with this. I do have a new merch store, so please go ahead and check out the merch store. Go ahead and take a gander. We got anything from t-shirts, tank tops, to snapbacks, to backpacks, to face covers for the COVID, and go ahead and check out anything. Go ahead and give it a good gander. You can go to streamlabs.com/dbtalkinnow/merch to see if there's anything that you might like, or also if you just want to donate and show your support, you can go to streamlabs.com/dbtalkinnow/tip. And it's right there on the screen for you to go ahead and follow those links, as well as in the description below if you guys want to follow those links. I would love it and be more appreciative. I'd be much appreciative of you guys showing your support for sure. But let's go ahead and get into this. So we got a few Carson Wentz updates, we got a few trade rumor updates, we got a few big free agency rumor updates, as well as some draft prospect and draft updates as well. So let's go ahead and talk about Carson Wentz real quick, obviously, because Carson Wentz saga never ends, baby. And as of today, Carson Wentz is still on the Philadelphia Eagles. He is still on the Philadelphia Eagles. But as we know, it seems like the reports have been confirmed that the Broncos have made an offer. Now, whether wide receiver KJ Hamler is involved in that trade is yet to be disclosed. But it is worth noting that him and Miles Sanders were best friends at Penn State, and so that might not be a bad idea. I know I was very excited about KJ Hamler when he was coming out of college, and was hoping that we would be able to take him, but he did go 2 picks before we did. We were able to, well, maybe it wasn't 2 picks, but I think he went early in the second round. So before we took Jalen Hurts, KJ Hamler was off the board. The other thing too is it does seem like it has been confirmed up to this point that the Indianapolis Colts have only offered something as high as a second round pick for Carson Wentz. So whether or not Howie Roseman is going to get something higher than that, we just don't know quite yet. So but I think they're still holding out. And the thing is this. It is fairly quiet. It is fairly quiet right now in regards to Carson Wentz and the trade. So something may have gone down, or something might be about to go down. And because it's always quiet, right before the storm, baby, I think the storm is about to pick up, and the thunder's going to strike, and then everything's going to go wild, and Carson Wentz is going to end up somewhere, somehow. And I think it's going to be this weekend, but we will get to see about that. Now, there is a recent mock draft that was released that had the Eagles trading up to the Miami Dolphins at pick 3 to select quarterback Justin Fields. Tell me how you guys feel about that. I would love to know what you guys think about that, because here's the thing. Here's the thing about that. One thing we do know, anytime a new head coach comes into a new organization and is a first-time head coach, they love to bring their guys. They like to start their coaching career, their head coaching career, with their own Robin, right? Batman needs a Robin. Other superhero tandems need their own their superhero sidekick. And so, is Jalen Hurts worthy of being the sidekick to Nick Sirianni? Well, we don't know, but he was drafted by Doug Peterson. So, is that worthy enough, or does that completely void him from eligibility to being the superhero sidekick for Nick Sirianni? So we'll have to think about that, talk about that, evaluate that as the days go on here, and as we get closer and closer and closer as the days go on to the draft. But obviously we have free agency to get through, we have this Carson Wentz trade to get through, so there's a lot of things we got to get through, a lot of craziness we got to get through, and a lot of dysfunction of the Philadelphia Eagles that we got to get through before we even get there. But if they do go with Jalen Hurts, then they can possibly go anywhere with pick number 6, and they can possibly do anything they want with the possible second first-round pick that they might acquire from whichever team they trade Carson Wentz to. So if you think about it, the Eagles do have a pretty good off-season outlook ahead of them, and I got to touch on this. As much as I cringe and as much as I hate to say it, Howie Roseman has not been put in this position since 2016. Seems like he is forcing himself back into this position by him on his own terms. But he has not been in this position since 2016, and as we can all probably admit, he did a phenomenal job in the 2016 offseason. He did a phenomenal job in the 2017 offseason. So if that's what that means, you know, if we're talking about analytics here, that's exactly what that means, and it could be a good thing. It could be a good thing. So we'll just have to, see how this entire thing plays out. But I do want to talk about this. Free agency rumors. Big drop. The Houston Texans did release their all-around defensive stud, perennial Pro Bowler J.J. Watt today. And obviously, right away, Philadelphia Eagles fans went absolutely cuckoo over the fact, and so did some Eagles players too. Jalen Reagor, just going into his second year as a wide receiver for the Philadelphia Eagles, immediately started recruiting J.J. Watt to the Philadelphia Eagles, and so did our perennial Pro Bowler offensive lineman Lane Johnson started recruiting him to the Philadelphia Eagles as well. So it is a possibility, guys, but here's the thing. There's a few key factors that keep us from bringing J.J. Watt to this team, and that is this. The team across the state is recruiting him too, and that is the Pittsburgh Steelers, and as we all know, the brother of J.J. Watt, T.J. Watt, plays for the Pittsburgh Steelers, and that just seems like a little bit more of an attractive move for J.J. Watt to go and play with his brother T.J., and the other thing to go along with that as well, the Philadelphia Eagles are dysfunctional right now. The Philadelphia Eagles are completely dysfunctional right now. I mean, why would you want to come play for us right now when the future is unstable, the future is grim, there's shadows over the mountains, there's shadows over the town, you just can't see the lights that are still turned on, and according to you, they're all turned off because that's how thick the clouds are. Thirdly, we just don't have the cap yet, guys. Howie Roseman hasn't made those moves yet. So I don't know how we're going to make that move anyway. He's still going to demand big money. It's not going to be as big as he was when he was 26, but it's going to be a significant amount, and we just don't have probably the amount that he wants. Fourthly, look, he's older, right? And as far as we know, guys, look at our coaching staff. They're pretty much all under 46 with the exception of our offensive line coach, you know, and from the proof of the cookie crumbs, guys, they're going with a youth movement here. We don't know the fate of Brandon Graham. We don't know the fate of Fletcher Cox, even though he's probably still going to be here. We don't know the fate of Malik Jackson, even though he's probably going to be gone. We don't know the fate of a Javon Hargrave. We don't know the fate of these guys. We don't know the fate of a Derek Barnett. We just don't know. And those are all the guys that are borderline turning into veterans, and some of them are, and J.J. Watt is older than all of those guys. Just gotta put it out there. Even though he's a stud, I would love to have him on the team, but there are so many other variables that keep him from coming to the Philadelphia Eagles, and quite a few good arguments. So I just don't see that happening, and honestly, we don't need a defensive lineman right now, guys. That is not the top priority for this defense. Sorry, it's not. I'm sorry. I wish it were. Because I feel like it's easier to find. I feel like it's easier for us to find a solid contributor along the defensive line than it is any other position on the defense. I really do. And so I wish that were the only position that we needed to upgrade, and it's just simply not. There's the linebackers and there's the secondary. There's literally every other position on the defense that we need to upgrade first before we even think about the defensive line. So with that said, let's go ahead and move on to the fact that Trevor Lawrence had his pro day today, guys. Trevor Lawrence had his pro day today. He had a few scouts that did show up, and obviously Jacksonville Jaguars, teams in the top 3, but lo and behold, scouts from the Philadelphia Eagles showed up as well. Now, obviously, we hold pick number 6, and that's kind of a big deal. Guys, I said it all along. Because we hold pick number 6. Do not be surprised if we at least try to move up for Trevor Lawrence. Do not be surprised if we at least try. Look, there's a great article that came out on the Philadelphia Inquirer over the last couple days, and maybe it was in the last 24 hours. To be honest, I can't remember the timestamp off the top of my head, but it was a phenomenal article, and it said this: it's possible that the philosophy behind this offseason for Jeffrey Lurie and Howie Roseman could just be that they sensed something rotten and wanted to scrap the entire image of this fucking franchise, and that includes possibly going with a youth movement, maybe even going with a brand new quarterback. Now look, this is my take. It's possible that Howie Roseman has had enough of taking the second best guy. And if he's done with taking shots and trying to get us to the mountaintop, we know what they want. We know what Jeffrey Lurie wants. He wants the dynasty, man. They've tasted the cream of the crop. They tasted it in 2017, and they want to get back, and they want to stay there. We heard the speeches of the new norm, and we just weren't able to keep it. We just weren't able to keep the new norm that they were talking about. We just weren't able to do it. But we know what they want. And guess what, guys? The top guy is Trevor Lawrence, and that's the thing. My thing is this. Maybe Howie Roseman's like, we're going to go and we're going to get that guy, because that's what this team deserves. That's what this city deserves. They deserve the top guy. They deserve the top guy, so we're going to go and grab him. Jacksonville doesn't deserve the top guy. Not saying that Jacksonville does. Doesn't. That's not what I'm saying. Just saying. We have a bigger market, but it's fine. No problem. No big deal. No biggie. But here's the thing. Regardless of the fact if they're able to go and get Trevor Lawrence, if they were there looking at Trevor Lawrence, what does that mean for the Philadelphia Eagles at pick 6? Well, it could possibly mean that, guys, they might exactly be looking at a quarterback for pick number 6 for the Philadelphia Eagles. Now, like I said, there was a mock draft that came out that had them trading up to Miami to take Justin Fields. Now, Justin Fields obviously is one of the top 5 quarterbacks in this draft, you know, arguably number 2, arguably number 3, arguably number 4, but there's only a few that's ranked him number 4. It's arguably number 2 or arguably number 3. It's a possibility. It's a possibility Justin Fields is there at 6. It's a possibility. Depends on what the Jets do at 2, right? But we'll have to see. We'll have to see. It's one of those things where the chatter doesn't start until 24 hours before draft, where you really start to get a sense of what exactly the team is doing, unless you're number 1 and number 2. Then sometimes you'll get a sense, you know, maybe a week in advance. But would the Jacksonville Jaguars make a trade if it meant acquiring players and picks from the Philadelphia Eagles? It's a possibility. The Jacksonville Jaguars do have another first-round pick. They do have it. The Jacksonville Jaguars could literally trade with us and then trade to number 2 to grab Justin Fields. It's not out of the question. There's not crazier things have happened in this world. You know what I mean. Another thing I want to address, too, I think it's absolutely crazy that we just hired a DB's coach who just decided to leave and go ahead and coach for Nick Saban at Alabama for the same exact position. Did he sense dysfunction in the air, or did he see coaching for Nick Saban as a better opportunity under the same exact position title? I think he sensed dysfunction in the air, but that's me. That's me theorizing. That's me getting into theories, and sometimes I love doing it, and sometimes I just think some people are just a little cuckoo. I am certainly one of them. You can ask all of my ex-girlfriends. It's completely fine. probably ask my family, too. They'll probably agree with you. But, hey, that's what we do, baby. That's what we do. Us human beings, we get a little cuckoo sometimes, and I dig it. I dig it. I really do. Let me go ahead and remind you, please donate at streamlabs.com/dbtalkinnow/tip. Anything you want to donate does help me severely, and just help show support. You know, everything is recycled and redistributed into making this better so that I can bring you guys better content. And then also check out the merch store at streamlabs.com/dbtalkinnow/merch. Go ahead and take a gander. Go ahead and see what tickles your fancy. We have raincoats with multiple pockets, you know, for those who are in more volatile weather. You know, any Eagles fan who lives in Seattle, go ahead and buy yourself a raincoat. Phenomenal, phenomenal. We also have face covers for the COVID. We have some T-shirts. We have some tank tops in case you want to rep DB Talking Now at the gym. You know, I'm excited. I've got my order coming real soon. We got some snapbacks. We got some backpacks. It's going to be phenomenal. It's going to be phenomenal. I expect to see my subscribers wearing some merch, and we will be able to talk about it, and it's going to be super exciting, my friends. It's going to be super duper 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 exciting. But hey, this is DB Talking Now, DB Talking Birds, DB Talking Philadelphia Eagles. One last thing, tomorrow we will be doing draft prospect by position breakdown, starting with the defense, and I personally will be on with a great buddy of mine who just loves talking about the draft. Really, really knowledgeable, intellectual fella who just really gets into this stuff, and I'm really excited. Complete scholar when it comes to this stuff. I gotta be honest with you, and so I'm really excited. And because this is a Philadelphia Eagles channel, and we're talking birds, DB Talking Now, we're gonna start off with the defense. And we're going to get into some safety talk. We're going to get into some cornerback talk. We're going to get into some linebacker talk. And it's going to be exciting. It's going to be fun. And I'm really looking forward to it. So I hope to see you guys there. DB Talking Now, DB Talking Birds, DB Talking Philadelphia Eagles. You guys have a beautiful rest of your Friday evening. Please stay